We are live. Welcome. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum to all you queens, awesome women, coaches, feminine leaders. We are continuing our expert interview series. And today I have a wonderful woman. Welcome, Tammy Soumas. It's so good to have you here with us.
Assalamu alaikum.
So I'm sure if you know Tammy, you have seen some of her outrageous and educational TikToks and educational videos, and she is teaching us all about Greek history. And I have learned so much from her. I'm sure that even in the history books, they don't have the stuff that she's teaching us. But the woman is so much more than just her TikTok Greek educational videos. So let me tell you a little bit more about this woman. She has been married for 23 years plus, very successful marriage. She has 3 children, and she considers herself to be a perpetual student and sometimes a teacher. She loves falling in love with new things and new projects. And during these unprecedented COVID times, she got into lots and lots of furnishing her different things around her house and raised garden beds and tables with benches. She's also the co-founder of a children's publishing company that publishes books on Islamic content. Tammy, it is so great to have you here with us.
It's really wonderful to be here. It's an honor that you would invite me to be here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I've got a couple of different questions for you from one publisher to another, because you know we do publishing books, but our books are very, very different. And it's only very recently I know that you actually do children's books, because people have asked me to publish children's books, but that's not our genre. We do professional books, authority books, to use your book as a business card, and a legacy books. But let me ask you, what, oops, you okay?
Sorry. Yeah.
It is all the funny bits that happens on Zoom and StreamYard and in the virtual world. But tell me, there must be someone out there listening to this. They've got a children's book inside of them. They're a mom or a dad. They want to write a book. What inspires you, like when you read that children's story, to say, okay, this is a good content for me and we're going to publish it?
Well, thank you for that question. For me personally, because there's 3 of us that make that decision on how we're going to proceed, if we're going to proceed. And so there's 3 filters that we pass it through. For me, it's something that leaps out at me, but that is also, it has a unique storyline. It represents Islamic values. It's child friendly. And sometimes the author even contributes the illustration. So sometimes it helps to build that story and make you really get into it. So when an author is interested in submitting their product or their storylines, we have the process that we have is that we all get to read it, and we all get to say our instant opinion of, you know, how we feel about that. The other day, somebody put the idea forward that we should do children's baby books that are made out of plastic. Now, for me, that's a no-no, because we just don't need more plastic in the world. We already have enough. And then when that child is done with that plastic, it's going to end up in the landfill. So for me, that was absolutely not. And then the idea changed to, well, maybe we could think about the idea of making it into cloth. So those are the kind of ideas that we get, and the process that we go to in order to decide if this is the kind of project that we want to get into, if this represents what we're looking to showcase.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. So you're environmentally friendly. The 3 of you make a decision together. And when it's unanimous, then you go through with saying yes to a book. Now,
Yeah.
Now you must have a really big catalog. What is your favorite book in the entire catalog? Do you have one, or is this a really, really terrible question?
They're all my favorites, of course. However, There's one particular one. I think it's because it's our first children's. I think you could call it a series. I mean, we're calling it a series, and it's kind of like a timeless kind of style of book. It's a board book, so it's for little children, and it helps them get more familiar with the masjid. And I was talking about it earlier today, and it just happens to be right here. It's called At the Masjid series, and it's a board book, and it comes, this is the case for it. It comes in a case, so you can put it away, but these are the kind of books that are inside. Opposites at the masjid, colors at the masjid, numbers at the masjid, and shapes at the masjid.
And so what age would you say that book is appropriate for?
It's appropriate for little, like babies, literally for babies and preschoolers. And especially in these hard times, I did a TikTok video today discussing how it's difficult for people not being able to go to their religious buildings, the places of worship that they used to go to before. My children haven't been there since before March. And so you want your children to be exposed to that. You don't want them to be completely detached from that environment. So how else do you get them to be more familiar with the environment at the masjid? You discuss it, you read stories about it, you watch videos about it. Well, this is our version of how to stay in touch and how to get familiar at the masjid.
So cute. I love the little covers. They look so bright and colorful and attractive and just perfect for the preschooler to want to gravitate towards and read it, because they get their favorite books. I know with me, my kids would want to read the same books over and over and over again. And, you know, reading was something my kids grew up with. And now if the internet goes down or there's no lights or whatever, they're fine. They're fine because they can pick up a book. And we have more books than we know what to do with. Like every room has a bookshelf and it's just filled and filled. Okay, so here's the final question I have to ask you. Why is it still taboo to forge a new path and start your own business? And I really want to like put that together, because you're a businesswoman and you are a publisher and you are a Muslim woman. So tell us a little bit about that. I don't know if it's got to do with your publishing, but I know this was an important thing for you to talk about.
Yes, for sure. It is a taboo to start your own business because this is not how we are raised and how we're educated, right? It's very scary to let go of something that you already have and go somewhere where it's unfamiliar territory. And usually the enemy that you know is better than the enemy that you don't know. On the flip side, I still teach my children or my nieces and nephews, I still tell them, don't let go of one branch until you have the second branch in your hand, because that's still a good policy, not to burn your bridges, right? However, it's really hard for people to take that leap that your business will be a success, because in your mind you're thinking, this is an awesome business idea. For sure there's a niche for it. And I totally believe that there is a niche for it, because just like, you know, sometimes if you think like, why is there a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Harvey's and another thing on the same corner, one on each corner, and you think surely they have enough. McDonald's has enough. They don't need to have 4 altogether. But they do their research and they know that there is a market for a burger from McDonald's and from Harvey's and from Burger King. And so that's why they're there. Same thing with this book idea. There's for sure a niche market for children's books with Islamic values and morals. And actually our books are not, yes, they're Islamic and they have Islamic values and morals, but we have made them in such a way so that they are easily accessible or easily readable from a different perspective. Like if you're not Muslim, you don't have to be a Muslim, but then you could become familiar with what's inside of the masjid, for example, or what they do inside of the masjid. It's not a scary thing. So we gear it, or I guess you could push, we push the idea for people to open their minds and read something like this, even if they're not Muslim, to their children, because this is the kind of world we live in. We should be educated about everybody's religion and everybody's background, because that's the reality of our world. We live in a world where we're a salad. I don't like the idea of the melting pot. We're a salad, and every piece of it is individual, but we all add a different perspective to the salad, a different flavor to the salad.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I wanted to, because you've asked me so many questions, I wanted to ask you, why do you think that so many women right now are turning towards entrepreneurship right now?
Well, you brought up a good question about niche marketing and getting into your own business, and that's my specialty. I help people find their niche. I help people know who is that person out there that's going to buy something from you. I help people to figure all of that out. So right now, it is the best time for women to become entrepreneurs, because what ends up happening is right now there's a crisis happening in the world. And I know you didn't tell anyone who I am, so I'll introduce myself to the people who don't actually know me. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. 12 years ago, I actually left a violent, abusive relationship, and I took 5 kids, packed them up in a car, and I left because I was actually done with the violence. I was done being manipulated and being yelled at, and I was done showing my children what violence looked like. Because I was, even as a victim of violence, I was teaching my sons how to treat women, and I was teaching my daughter how to be treated. And I was done with that. And so 12 years ago, I packed them all up. My youngest was 4, my oldest was 19. And I left, and I had nothing. I was a welfare mom. We were homeless. We were running. I was trying to keep my children safe. And I started collecting welfare. I still have my stubs till today. And the government of Ontario was giving me a very generous $535 a month for 5 children. So between my son Tariq's disability check for $800 and my $535 is how I fed my children from the dollar store. And I knew I had to recreate my life. I knew that I wanted something more. I knew that this was not the end of it. And I knew that I was capable. And if I put all of my faith and trust in my creator, I would be okay. And you know what? It's in the beginning, when you say to your creator, I'm going to put all my faith and trust in you, trust me, more tests will come. It is not going to be an easy peasy road, because God's like, really? Are you 100%, or is just lip service? Let's see if this woman really means what she says. And I crashed, I burned, I got diagnosed with adrenal burnout. I gained 85 pounds. I lost my hair. I was crying all the time. And from the depths of despair, I knew that the only thing I could do was business. I couldn't get a job because I would need to leave my son Tariq, and Tim Hortons was going to pay me $12 an hour, and I needed someone at $20 to look after him. So do the math. It doesn't make any sense. And so I just started sharing my story. And slowly I have come to realize that in the moments of crisis, women start asking different questions. Women start asking questions like, am I willing to miss the milestones of my children? Women start asking questions like, am I willing to stay in this toxic male environment? Women start asking questions like, am I willing to get paid less than what that guy is getting paid? And so when we start asking these questions, we realize that I can create my own business. And women are turning towards a family first, flexible business where they can put their children first, they can work on their relationships. And better now than ever, in the times of crisis, why don't you take your pain, your past, your history, your skills, and turn it into passion, power, and profit? That's what's happening right now, and that's what we do to help you. How awesome is that?
It's so awesome. Fatima Omar Kamisa, you are such an example. I want to be like you when I grow up. I really, really do. You are amazing. I can't believe the hardship that you've been through, and you are still on the top. Not even just surviving. You are doing, I mean, amazing. Like I can't imagine like having gone through all of that and still you can look back and say, wow, I can't believe that.
Thank you.
Um, I wanted to ask you though, what is the biggest mistake that women make when they're deciding to become their own bosses?
Wow. The number
Help
one
me.
mistake, yeah, the number one mistake that I see women make across the board. Every single one of my clients has done this, and I can raise my hand and I can tell you I'm an expert at that as well. Okay, because I have done it, and then you have to overcome it. And that is we get in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A coach will say, Tammy, do this, XYZ. You'll say, okay, then you'll go home or you'll get off the phone or you'll get off the Zoom call and you'll say, okay, I'm really committed. And then the next day you'll say, well, I know better than her. What does she know? I'm paying her all this money and she doesn't even tell me what to do that's proper, blah, 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 blah. And we get into this analysis of paralysis and we talk our way out of our dream. We make our coaches wrong. And then we go back to the old way of doing it. So you keep on cooking the same meal with the same bad recipe, hoping for a different result. You use the same pot, the same methodology, the same spices, and you ask yourself, why is this thing not coming out the way I want it to? Because,
Yeah.
girlfriend, you didn't try something different. You didn't trust your coach. You didn't trust your mentor. And you kept doing the same thing over again. So your mind is sabotaging you. And you're going back to that old paradigm default that's full of poverty and negativity and no results, rather than taking a chance, paying somebody, getting uncomfortable, and getting that awesome results that you want. This year, I hired a brand new coach, which I do every single year. But let me tell you, everyone, Tammy, everyone told me it's the COVID. Fatima, March, everything shut down after March break. The kids didn't go back to school. And in May, I decided to invest 6 figures in a new coach, begging and borrowing the money. And guess what happened? I said, okay, something, this is what I do. Okay, so I'm a practicing Muslim. So I question, is this halal and is it legal? I get a yes and a yes, I just take action. Massive, massive action. I don't question, I don't fear negativity. We broke every single milestone.
I think we lost the connection.
Some technical glitches, but I think we're back.
Great. So I really want to hear about your 5-day challenge, the Command Your Business Like a Queen 5-day challenge.
If you want to know exactly what I did to go
Yes.
here, and we're back. So all you want to do is go to likeaqueenworkshop.com. Everything is happening there. I'm pulling back the curtain and I'm showing you every single thing I did. Mindset, packages, pricing, coaching, business. You know, every single thing you need to do to launch a very, very successful online business is happening inside of the workshop. All you got to do is go to likeaqueenworkshop.com. And if you sign up before Friday, there's a special training before the launch that is happening this Saturday for the first 100 people. And we're doing a private, intimate Zoom training. And we're going to cover the best questions I have used to create your next 6 figures in the next 12 months. And all you got to do is go to Like a Queen Workshop. And we're giving all this for free. Just come on, sign up, and join us.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I'm definitely going to look into it, and I'm definitely going to share this with all my friends and all my followers. I don't have as many as you, but I'm going to share it with everybody that I know and think of so that they could get the word, so they can find out about this 5-day challenge, because we all need help, and we have to break out of the mindset that we have to follow the same route and the same path as everybody else, that it's okay. You don't have to follow the same pathway as everybody else. And I remember not too long ago, somebody mentioned that, well, aren't you worried about your pension? And I was like, of course I'm worried about my pension. Why would I be worried less about my pension than you? Because I don't follow the same formula? Of course I do. And my objective is to not have to worry about my pension at some point, that I could just take it or leave it. So that's the mindset that I'm on. And I'm glad that I found you, Fatima, because you're invaluable. Thank you so much for all this free advice.
Thank you so much, Tammy. And I'm just going to put your website on for people to go to, compassbooks.ca. It's right here on the screen. Check her out. I'm sure there's lots and lots of books that you can buy. And the holidays are coming up. There's a new quarantine in Ontario, Canada, and kids need books. So this is a perfect time for you to go on Tammy's website, buy some. And if somebody goes onto your website, will you ship it to them, Tammy?
Yes, we will ship it to wherever they are. All you have to do is go to compassbooks.ca, get the link directly to Amazon, and it will get shipped to wherever they are, inshallah.
Look at that. So anywhere in the world, go to compassbooks.ca. You'll get it delivered to your door, and your children will be happier. Thank you so much for this conversation, Tammy. And I hope to see you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, Fatima.